Welcome back to SportsLine. I'm Steve Wrigley. We're talking Tennessee Titans. What will they do in the draft? We've been listening to head coach Mike Mularkey and general manager John Robinson in a forum hosted by Mike Keith. We all remember Mike's call from the Music City Miracle back in 1999. What a great year that was. And then they beat the Bills here on the Music City Miracle. Then they go up to Indianapolis and they beat the Colts in a game that made the Colts front office so angry because Indianapolis fans sold their tickets to Titans fans. I remember Eddie George ripped off a 56-yard touchdown run to seal that one. It was a wild scene at the airport when the team got back. They went down to Jacksonville, beat the Jaguars for the third time in that season. Then it was on to the Super Bowl where they lost to the St. Louis Rams. And boy, does that seem like a lifetime ago. It basically was. It was back in the 1999 season. And I remember that year like it was yesterday, even though it was a long, long time ago. The Titans were practicing in Bellevue, holding training camp in Bellevue. And they used to do their quarters like in a trailer. Like they would eat their meals in a little trailer. And the locker room was so dingy, and it was all portable stuff, and the field was terrible. It's right behind where Bellevue Mall used to be, and they're building right there on Highway 70 South, almost at the 40 interchange. And it was a magical season. And the thing that got that thing going, I remember the day that they did the draft that year. Floyd Reese and Jeff Fisher picked Javon Kearse as their #1 pick out of Florida. And then the thing that really made that draft go was Benji Olsen and Zach Pillars on the line gave the added toughness to Brad Hopkins at left tackle, and Bruce Matthews' experience on the line. Kevin Long playing a little bit of center. They moved a lot of Jason Matthews in and out there, but it was the pick of Javon Kearse that made the Titans have that X factor on defense that they seem to have not had for a very, very long time. I mean, the last guy I think of making a lot of plays on defense would have to be Keith Bullock. Was the last guy that could sometimes seemingly change the course of a game by himself. Mr. Monday Night, as he liked to call himself. But it was the drafting of Javon Kearse back in 1999 by Floyd Reese that gave them the X factor that was it just totally changed the complexion of what the Titans were able to do on defense. And a lot of you out there, from what I'm hearing, is that you think that the cornerback out of Florida State, cornerback / possible safety, Jalen Ramsey is a guy that could do that. We've had callers tonight saying that that's where the Titans should go, that they need to get that stopper on defense, because really the NFL comes down to two things. Who wins up front, and can you get your defense? Well, three things. Who wins up front in the physical game? Can you get your defense off the field on third down? And can you keep your offense on the field on third down? Those three things settle football games. That's the way that goes. So I think it's Javon Kearse. I think Javon Kearse is the most important draft pick that the Tennessee Titans have ever drafted. Who do you think it is? I know Eddie George was a big one. Steve McNair was a big pick. Those all went a long way towards making the Titans the team they were, but it was Javon Kearse that helped get them over the hump. Now, will Marcus Mariota be that guy? Who knows? If he gets a good left tackle and he gets a good offensive line, if Chance Warmack steps up and lives up to his potential as the 10th overall pick a few years back, then possibly this team starts making that trajectory. But boy, that Titans team was good the second they got to this town. Now, that's discounting the games that they played at Vanderbilt, because those were just kind of a horrible situation. To be playing at Vanderbilt one year and then in Memphis another year where there were more Steelers fans coming to the games than there were Titans fans. But so let's light up these phones. We've got a couple more minutes. We've got about 3 minutes till we're going to take a break. Call me. Okay, who's on line one? Go ahead, Paul. You're on line one. Who's the most important draft pick in Tennessee Titans history, and what do you think they need to do this year?
Oh, that's easy. That's Marcus Mariota right there. That's
okay.
The most important draft pick they've ever made.
Why?
Well, because he's going to take us to the Super Bowl 3 or 4 different times, and we're going to win them. And
wow. I think you ought to play the lottery tonight. I like your optimism. If I was you, I'd jump right in that car and go buy a lottery ticket, because there are not many teams that make the jump from where the Titans were last year to the Super Bowl in a year or two. And to stay there, to win 3 or 4, I think is very optimistic. I don't want to rain on your parade, But what makes you think Marcus Mariota is just that head and shoulders above every other quarterback in the league, and to do that?
You're doggone right. Look what Big Ben did. He took it up there in his rookie year, wasn't it, when he won his first Super Bowl?
Well, he won his first Super Bowl as a rookie, but there again, he had a veteran coach in Mike Tomlin, and he had a great defense in the Steelers' defense. And yeah, Ben made plays. Ben was hard to bring down. He was elusive, and the Steelers won that Super Bowl. Okay, well, Marcus Mariota is your pick now. Now, I was kind of going back to somebody who's done it and promoted the team or got the team over the hump. You're an optimist. You think Marcus Mariota is that guy? And I guess I would have to agree that right now, this city better be hoping that the Mariota is the guy that everybody hopes he can be. Thank you for the call. You have a good night. Go buy that lottery ticket, buddy. Go ahead on line 2. What do you think? Who is the most important Titans draft pick in their history, and what should they do this time?
Hey, Steve. Welcome to the show, man.
Good to be here.
Hey, 2 things. Number 1, on the rule change thing, I think they ought to bring in targeting. I think, they need to follow the college program on that. And the other thing, I would be happy with the Steelers taking the offensive lineman, Tunzel, whatever his name is. I'd be happy with them taking the Florida State cornerback. They're both excellent first picks, but I'll tell you, I think there's a sleeper pick here that they're not saying anything about that they might just jump on, and that's Joey Bosa. What do you think about that?
Well, I went to Ohio State, and I think that he's quite an athlete, and I really think that they need to get an offensive lineman to protect Mariota, as one of the earlier callers suggested. If you can trade up and still get that good guy, or trade out and still get that good guy and pick up a couple of players, because the NFL is all about depth. Every team gets beat up during the season. They get, depth is always taxed, and the teams that can spot the talent and put them right in the lineup and have them contribute in week 13 or 14, those are the teams that make the playoffs and eventually win the playoff games. But I think Bosa is a great player, but I think that there again, Javon Curse was the guy that flipped the switch a couple of years ago. Can Bosa do that? Does he have the burst? I think he has the strength. He's known for great technique. But I don't think they need a defensive end. Now maybe these guys know so much more than everybody else, and they're just wowed by what he will do in his workout day, and maybe they see what we don't see, and they might go that way. But I still think they need to get more protection on the line to let the run game. They just invested in a great running back, a guy that led the league just 2 years ago, had close to 2,000 or maybe over 2,000 yards of total offense, and DeMarco Murray, who should be coming in with a chip on his shoulder. I would just love to see them go offensive line and get big and physical up front and tough and just wear teams out. Get back to when they used to be in the AFC Central, and they were the Oilers, and it was the black and blue division. And even the first couple of years that they played here in Nashville, they had that really physical team, and they won by wearing teams out with their offense and by keeping points off the board with their defense. All right, we're coming up on 8:47. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back on the other end. 737-7767. Give me a call. I'm Steve Wrigley, and you're watching SportsLine here on News Channel 5+.